Friendos, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I have an amazing one for you guys. If you're watching for the first time, hello, my name is Laurel. I am but a mere weirdo who likes to collect and experiment with really nice makeup. I've been collecting Pat McGrath palettes for years. I always buy the Mothership palette every single year. I have every single one. I even have a ranking video. So I hope you guys can tell, overall, I am in love with the products from the brand. However, this year there's been some controversy. I haven't gotten my palette yet. I don't know what to expect from this palette. What you can expect from me is an honest review. Even though I'm a collector, I'm still very blunt when it comes to my reviews. I do not receive PR from Pat McGrath Labs, and of course this video is not sponsored by Pat McGrath Labs. I'm always on the side of the consumer. If you're not afraid of an honest opinion, even when it's a negative one, well then friendos, this is the place for you. Please go ahead, hit like, hit subscribe, and guys, just stay tuned. Finally, I got my palette. I had to go through Sephora. The palette that I ordered from Pat McGrath Labs never arrived, and it was not my fault. I'm not entirely sure what happened, but my palette did get sent back to the company after it technically arrived in my city. I still don't understand why, and I can't really get a good answer out of Pat McGrath Labs as to what happened. So I'm very sorry. I know that I'm super late with this review, but let's open her up. We're still gonna have a good time, and I'm still gonna give you my opinion. So the packaging this time, you guys, I do think overall it's nice. It's not the prettiest one I've ever seen. I'm not as in love with this little glasses thing. I don't know, it's kind of Elton John to me. What do you guys think? Do you like this, or is it a little bit too much? I will say I do like the pinky purple color scheme of this. I wish that there was purple inside here, but I already know that there isn't. So open her up. I did check her before to make sure that she had not gotten broken on the way here. And my sister and I were both in agreement. This almost looks photoshopped. It's just too pretty to be real, but it is real. So let's get to swatching. First up, we have this matte shade here in the bottom. This looks more like a brick red. It looks decent, not super creamy. It doesn't feel super creamy on my finger. I am able to blend it out easily though. Next up we have normally what is the Skin Show Nude. This one has a little bit of a pinky bling to it. And it looks decent as well. I'm gonna build it up a little bit. So far things are not looking terrible. They're not looking amazing though. Right, this one right here, a good pinky mauve. That one looks gorgeous, I can't deny. Now for this coppery shade, this is more of a rose gold than a copper. So that one is fine, not complaining about that one. This one is like a bronzy sienna, a little bit of pinkiness to it. That one looks fine to me. Then I'm going to switch over. Going in with the middle matte shade. This one also is just another pinky brown. That one swatched beautifully. This one definitely felt very creamy when I dipped into the pan. And if you guys aren't well acquainted with a Pat McGrath palette, normally it's these 4 shades right here that she'll have on the side of the palette. These are the Blitz Astral shades that everyone raves about. These are the ones that you can't find in other palettes, and it's the main reason why people are willing to splurge on these very expensive products. So let's go ahead, let's dive into those. This is where the controversy that I've seen on other people's videos begins. There's a pinky golden shade, and again guys, I've seen some people's videos, it turns out just fine, and then some of them it's not looking so hot. So for me, this looks pretty good. I'm not complaining. There's a little bit of chunkiness right here, but that smooths right out, so I'm not really complaining. Plus, I have a wrinkle right there, so it kind of settled in, so I can't completely blame the shadow. All right, next up is the lavender and gold one. This one looks beautiful. I cannot deny. All right, next up is this one right here. And this one is the color that I've seen the most people have a problem with. I'm gonna be honest, this feels off on my finger. We'll see. Okay, so there is a little bit of chunkiness. I don't know how to describe this. I hope you guys can see what I'm saying here. So I'm gonna hold up my hairy arm for all you guys to see. This right here is not coming off as opaque as what normal Blitz Astral shades do. This feels like a pressed glitter. I would equate it to something from ColourPop, like a pressed glitter from ColourPop is how it feels. My sister says this is splotchy looking.
Like on a tiny scale. Not like huge patches, but like the whole thing just looks like tiny little glitter splotches throughout.
What she said. So yeah, okay. Lastly, this one right here. I saw a few people have trouble with this one. This one feels off too already. It feels grainy. It feels grainy. Usually these do not give off a grainy sensation. Okay, this one looks fine though on the arm. I'm gonna look at it up close and personal. This one's a little bit more see-through than some of the Blitz Astral shades that I have in other palettes. However, I don't think it's terrible. So my friendos, I'm sure you all know that swatches are one thing, but how they perform on the eyes is quite another. So shall we dive right in? Let's do a look. I'll do a little bit of reading on this palette. And then at the end, I have something very controversial to show you guys. I'm going to show you guys a little trick that people will use on TikTok to showcase their palettes and why sometimes the swatches may look different from person to person. All right, you guys, just stay tuned. All right, guys, I'm going to start out with this shade right here. And it's blending out beautifully. I'm not gonna do a super complicated look today. I just mainly wanna test out the shades that didn't swatch so good and see if there's an improvement when I go to put it on my eyes. Next up, I'm gonna dive into the darkest shade right here. I did not change my brush. And I'm just going over the outer portion of my lid. Again, we're going easy peasy today. I have a lot of talking I want to do, so I want to save some time so that this video does not take forever. Now my guys, the moment of truth, let's dive into this magenta burgundy shade. The way that I normally test this out is I go in with the brush dry and then I will spray my brush after we try it on the eye. I'm basically going to test this out for fallout. Y'all, this doesn't look good. It just doesn't. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be in my comments saying, you should apply with your finger. Not everybody wants to do that. A lot of makeup artists actually won't do that. They won't use their bare finger on their client's eyes, and that's to each his own. So I just like to show you guys because not everyone's going to want to use their finger. Okay, it's building up a little bit more. So then I'm going to spray this using my normal technique. All right, so after I sprayed it, it definitely applied a lot better. So for those of you who are saying you can still use it, yes, you can still use it. I just don't know that $130 is a good value for something that's doing this number. So I'm gonna keep spraying, I'm gonna keep building it up. It's going to look fine in the end. And then one thing that I do with all my Pat McGrath Blitz Astral shades is the technique where I do spray it with all-nighter setting spray. So for me, that keeps the fallout away. A lot of people complain about fallout with her eyeshadows. I normally don't have a fallout issue. So with this one, I do. And I think that was from when I went in dry. I'm gonna keep building this up and it's gonna look pretty in the end. But oh, the journey, my friends. So friendos, tell me if you've noticed this trend too. So this time Pat McGrath actually came out with an eyeshadow primer, and I'm wondering if this shadow would be better with the primer. Some people are saying that this is a test of basically sending out a crappier, cheaper formula and seeing if people will still pay for it. I don't know. I do wonder if it is planned because the last time that I got a palette that had chunkiness to it, that was the Utopian palette, and at the same time she released that intensified, I forget what you call it. It was basically, it felt like Vaseline on my eye, and it worked sort of like a glitter glue is how it was described by other people. So to me, it is a little fishy that she's coming out with an eye primer at the same time that she released a subpar formula.
It looks like you could use some of this.
Thank you, Pollywood. Get this out of my face. It's seriously not a bad product, you guys. I actually liked it. Oh my gosh, look at how much that just flaked up. I barely pressed in it and it's just flaking up like crazy. And now my guys, let's try out this beautiful shade, this pinky gold right here. Okay, so no spray. It looks fabulous. I don't really see any fallout. So yeah, I think this one is just fine. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and apply my eyeliner and lashes. And while I do so, I'm gonna do a little bit of reading on this palette for you guys, straight from Sephora. This is a seductive eyeshadow palette of 10 couture colors presented in 5 luxurious finishes for transformative eye artistry and flirtatious looks. Adorn your eyes in a sensual array of heavenly sunlit hues, curated to sculpt, illuminate, and accentuate, presented in luxurious finishes that glide on flawlessly. I don't know about that. Silky smooth textures blend and build, imparting multi-dimensional brilliance and inspiring endless eye looks. Really, because this just kind of looks like a pinky palette to me, Pat. I'm sorry to tell you. This palette retails for $128 US, and you can pick it up from Sephora or Pat McGrath's own website. All right, friendos, my look is complete, and now we're gonna dive right back into the controversy. My lovely sister has volunteered her arm for this next example. We're gonna show you guys precisely how some of these people are getting some of their best swatches. Now, I'm not saying that everyone did this, but I'm just saying it's a possibility when you see swatches that are just so picture perfect. People do this all the time for TikTok. I will do it for TikTok as well, but for sit down reviews, I just feel like it's a little much. But to each his own. Let's get into it. Guys, we're starting out. This is damage repair oil. You can use this on your skin, you can use it on your hair. So basically you need some oil. You need some oil down on that arm. All right, we're gonna rub that in. Oh, look at that, your skin all moisturized. All right. That does not look 500 times better. Cool. I'm gonna go ahead and have her swatch another one just so you guys can see. It's gonna look even better than when I swatched it on my dry skin. So this was the darkest matte shade. It looks a lot more pigmented, a lot more dark. And then just for funsies, we'll do one of the prettiest ones. So Polywog, pick your poison. She went with the one there on the end. So yeah, that's one way to get your look looking blindingly gorgeous, even if your shadows aren't perfect. So my guys, if you're wondering my opinion on whether I think this is worth $130, no. And to be honest, unless you're just absolutely loaded and desperate to get this in your hands right now, there's really no reason to pay this kind of money for the palette, because you know it's probably going to go on sale for 30% off at least by the end of the year. So to be honest, I don't really know what's going on with the brand. I don't think that they are selling like they used to, because there's constantly sales going on. And when I first started purchasing from the brand, that was not the case. They were rare, at a Black Friday sale and maybe a sale in March, and that was it. Now I just feel like every time I turn around, I'm getting a notification telling me that they're having a sale. So yeah, if all this did not deter you, I would still hold out for the sale. So guys, let me know your thoughts. Do you think that this palette is worth $128? I always like to hear your insight. And again, for the people who are probably going to be in my comment section telling me that I did something wrong. Maybe I did something wrong. I don't know. But I did try to provide my honest opinion today. And again, I'm always on the side of the consumer. And again, this isn't a PR video. It's not a sponsored video. I am on the side of the consumer. So I just want to make you guys aware of the good things as well as the flaws. And now, sadly, I must bid you all adieu. I'm wishing you all a phenomenal rest of your day. Please hit like on this video if you had a good time, or if you just pity me. I would definitely appreciate it. Please subscribe if you have not done so already, because if not, we'll both have to live with sorrow never knowing what could have been. All right, guys, have a fabulous day. Bye.